The very first step before using the Raspberry Pi is to flash an operating system on the SD card that you have and do some configuration. In this lesson, I'll show you how you can easily install the Raspberry Pi OS on your microSD card, but also how to set up the Wi-Fi and an SSH connection so you can get access to the Pi. And first of all, you can go to the Raspberry Pi website here and click software. It is raspberrypi.com/software. Now you can easily find this page. We are going to download now. So we are going to install the Raspberry Pi OS. But to install that on the SD card, we are going to download the Raspberry Pi Imager software. And because I'm using Windows, I'm gonna click download for Windows. If you're on Mac OS or Ubuntu, we are going to click on these buttons here. So download for Windows, and let's wait a bit so that you can get downloaded. And now we can install it. So let's install it. You may have a pop-up. You click on yes, install. When it's done, you can just run it. And if you just search on the bar here, search Raspberry Pi Imager, you can find it easily. Let's wait for it. Yes, I have a pop-up so that I can now allow the software to run with the correct permission. Okay, so that's Raspberry Pi Imager. So here I have installed the 1.8.5. You don't necessarily need to have the exact same version, but make sure that you have at least 1.8. Currently, there is even 1.9. And before you do anything with the SD card, make sure that your computer is connected to the Wi-Fi network. The Wi-Fi network should be the very same as the one that you will connect your Raspberry Pi to. Then go back to the Raspberry Pi Imager, and what you can do now is to insert the SD card into your computer. So insert it. Maybe you'll need an adapter, or you may need an SD card adapter or USB adapter because you can't insert the microSD as it is. To click on the Raspberry Pi device, choose here the device that you have. I'm gonna choose Raspberry Pi 5 because I have one, and it's the one I'm gonna use to install my OS. There are other versions of Pi down here, but I'll choose Raspberry Pi 5. Okay, then you choose the operating system, and we're going to choose simply the first one, the Raspberry Pi OS. We are going to take the 64-bit here. That's Debian Bookworm, okay, that I'm installing here. And the storage is going to be the SD card that you have inserted. Alright, it will pop up over here. You will just choose it directly. Alright, you'll choose it from here. Once you have those three settings, you can click on next. And here, before you click on yes, you would like to apply customization settings. It will just ask you, would you like to apply the customization settings? We click edit settings. And well, let's go through all these settings that we need. So first, I don't know if those may be same or not. You can just check the host name. Maybe just Raspberry Pi.local, it's fine. It will help you to find your Raspberry Pi on your network. This one, Raspberry Pi.local. It is simple, and it will help you to find your Raspberry Pi on network. It will stand as an IP address. And we're going to set the username and password. This is very, very important because it will allow the authorized user to access with your Raspberry Pi. So the username is just going to be Pi by default. You can write another one. And for the password here, make sure you write the password that you remember. Well, what's hostname, what is username, and what is password? A hostname is just a unique name that will help us to identify our Raspberry Pi over the internet or over the network. Now, we all understand that each device in the internet do have its uniquely IP address. This IP address tends to change time to time and it is hardly to remember. So existence of the host name which doesn't change and it's uniquely available, it helps us to identify our Raspberry Pi over a specific network. Well, username and password, these are just login credentials which only allows the authorized user to get access to the Raspberry Pi. Now in the later videos, we're going to see how we can use these credentials to get access to the Secure Shell protocol and Visual Network Computing protocol, which help us to remotely control our Raspberry Pi. So we are going for the SSID, that's your Wi-Fi configuration. Here you'll write your Wi-Fi name, your Wi-Fi network name, and the password. Make sure you write the ones you remember. I'm gonna write the password here just in case, okay, for this Wi-Fi network. So make sure that you have the correct password, this one. And all right. So it's very important here that the Raspberry Pi can connect to your Wi-Fi network. And then you can go down here and set the local settings, okay, with the time zone, as you can see. And if you have a keyboard layout that is different, it's from a different country, then you can choose from here. But I'm gonna choose the US keyboard, okay. Now, if it is disabled, make sure you enable the SSH with password authentication. You have to enable both. And on option, we don't have to do anything. Yeah. Now, so if we recap, we have those 4 settings here with the host name, the username, password, and Wi-Fi. Everything is fine. SSH is enabled. Then we are good to save. Now, yes, we click yes. And you can see that all the existing data will be erased. So everything that's on your SD card will be erased and replaced by the operating system. So make sure that you don't have any file that is important that you want to keep, okay? Make sure it is an important file. So do you want to continue? We click yes. This is going to write the OS on the SD card. It's going to take some few minutes. You can grab your coffee out there and come back for the following instructions. So writing is complete and now we are going to verify it. It's going to verify it. Once more, it will take a while. And now the Raspberry Pi OS has been successfully flashed onto your SD card. So you can see, you can click on continue and remove the SD card from your computer. With the configuration from the last step, when you boot your Raspberry Pi, it should automatically try to connect to your Wi-Fi network that you have provided. So what we are going to do now is we are going to boot our Raspberry Pi. So here I have the card reader and I am going to take out the SD card. Inside this SD card, we have installed our Raspberry Pi operating system as we have seen in the previous step. I'm gonna grab the Raspberry Pi and I'm going to look for the slot where I will have to insert my SD card, and here is the slot. I will carefully insert my SD card, as you can see. Now the SD card is protruding right here, and therefore if you are not careful enough, you might break the SD card. Breaking it, it will cost you into buying another SD card, and you will have to repeat the whole process again. Now I have the Raspberry Pi case over here. I really like to protect my Raspberry Pi, of course, and therefore before inserting my SD card, I will put my Raspberry Pi into the case, and here is the visible slot where I will insert my SD card. I will carefully insert it, as you can see, and I will close it up. Now my Raspberry Pi is clean and protected. I will use the Raspberry Pi official USB-C power supply to power my Raspberry Pi. I urge you to use, you can even use the phone charger, but make sure it gives a minimum current of 3 amps and minimum voltage of 5 volts and not below. So I used the official Raspberry Pi charger to charge my Raspberry Pi, and you'll see a red LED, then the green LED. It will flash like this. This is the good news. This signifies that our Raspberry Pi is booting and trying to connect to the Wi-Fi. Well, if you have an external monitor, mouse, and a keyboard, then you are good to go. But if you don't have the external monitor and you would like to use your own available computer to get remote access with your Raspberry Pi, then follow me in my next tutorial where I will vividly explain how we can use the Secure Shell protocol and Visual Network Computing protocol. These two protocols will help us to remotely get access to our Raspberry Pi. Thank you very much. See you next time.